we have the setup document. This is the setup this is the setup document. We call it as BR100. This was an implementation, okay, I did during the period of 2007 to 2010. It was big company and having more than 35 group of companies. All of you mute from your side, please. So it was having 35 group of companies and which was implemented in two phases, in which 2007 to almost 2000, end of the 2008, like we started it in the month of 2007 to the January of 2007. Then the implementation for first phase has gone till the end of 2008, and after that second phase has been started, okay, which was having 15 group of companies again. Okay, now let us see. First of all, you have to go for profile options. Then we have system parameters, release sequence rule, define ship confirm rule, define pick release document set, define price lists, define modifiers, order line types, order sequence to document category, assigning, right? So define shipping parameters, define role, grants, okay? All these things, you should remember. This document already we shared. Whenever you are preparing, what are the setups? Commonly you get a question interview. In an interview, you'll get a question. What are the main setups from order management? You have to tell this sequence. And before that, one more question. Whenever you go for implementation, what is the setup that you start with? Being a supply chain management or manufacturing consultant, what is the first setup that you start with? Is it order management or purchasing or inventory? Basically, whenever you go for supply chain management manufacturing, we will make sure that the organization structure has been decided, then that has been done by the finance consultant. And after that, we will make sure that by using that organization structure, we are going to start with key flex fields of inventory. Without key flex fields of inventory, we cannot do anything. Because sales order, one of the flex fields is sales order flex field, without which you cannot use order management for the business. If that is the case, so it is the common question, like it is the real time whenever you go for implementation. What is the first setup that you start with? Simply key flex fields. What are the key flex fields? 7. In a sequence, you can tell. We have item sequence, system item flex fields, category flex fields, locator flex fields, then sales order flex fields. What else? So like that we have 7, okay. Sometimes what happens, you may remember, you may not remember. Okay, but you have to tell in a flow some of the flex fields, and after that you can take time, or otherwise you can say that, like you can tell them saying that I couldn't recollect, but never say I don't know. I told you already, I answered. There are 7 key flex fields: system item flex field, category flex field, stock locator flex fields, then service item flex field, sales order flex field, then what else we have? So I could remember only this, and I couldn't recollect. So you have to remember all the 7, and you have to tell in a flow. Then when you set up all this, then only you can go for supply chain management modules, other modules of supply chain management and manufacturing. Quickly, let us go to order management. These are the setups you would require. Let us see. What are the profile options? OM discounting privileges. Whenever you're creating a sales order in the line level, you have to change the price, then definitely you should have discounting privileges. All the advanced pricing setup should be done. Price list should be there. All the items should be included in the price list. Modifier should be there. Modifier, what is modifier? The name itself is indicating modifier means by which we can modify the price in the sales order. If you're not having the modifier, you cannot change. So in yesterday's class, like you might have seen that. So discounting privilege should be full at responsibility level. OM default sales representative, no sales credit. QP means pricing modules. Okay, QP multi-currency installed, yes. Multi-currency usage, yes. Discounting privilege full. Source code order entry. What is source code? Order entry. Now, how to set up these profile options that we have seen in the system, like in the yesterday's class. If you would have concentrated on the yesterday's class, then definitely you can recollect what is the profile option, how to set up the profile option. We have the system administrator, in which we have the profiles system, in which all the profile option values, you have to copy each value and you have to search for the profile options. At responsibility level means you have to select responsibility and you have to select the responsibility name from the list of value. Then you can find if you want something. Let us say for this I will paste here. Fine, you will get it here. This value it can be changed. If it is a responsibility level, then you have to select here. So whatever the levels you have, site level is the lowest level, application is next level, responsibility is the next level, and user level is the top level. Okay, server level, at a server and responsibility organization level, we have these many levels. Whatever is there at site level, which is common, which is default, and user level is the topmost level. Okay, whatever the value you select here, that will override this. If you select this item master, see item master, and you are selecting another item master here, and this will be applicable, not this. This is out these are the hierarchies, this is the lowest level, this is the highest level. So that was the reason, like here you can see site is the lowest, application is the next, responsibility is the next. Responsibility override application and site. Now server level, organization level, user level, all these things, like whenever you go for the base level, next level, like this is what, if you select something at user level, it is going to override all the values here. You would have selected something at site or application or responsibility, server, organization, but what are the value you selected at user, that will be overriding all these. Okay, this session is getting recorded. Okay, I will share this file after the class. Okay, now when you go for document, this is how you have to select all these values. Okay, now next we have system parameter values. This is the navigation. You have to go to setup, system parameters and values. Then what are the values you select here? So what is the item master, item validation organization, and all these things. What is the freight item? All these things we have to select one by one. How? Like let us see. System parameters, you have to switch over to order management. Setup. System parameters, define or values. You select your operating unit. I told you order management at operating unit level, purchasing at operating unit level, payables at operating unit level, receivables at operating unit level. But what is inventory level? Inventory organization level. It's a very important question. What is the difference between org ID and organization ID? This is the common question. What is org ID and organization ID? Org ID is operating unit, organization ID is inventory organization. It's a very important question. Don't be confused. Technically, whenever you are getting the data, select all, like select star from table. Okay, some table. The table If you give organization ID, then definitely then it calls all the inventory organization. If you select org ID, that is an operating unit. Keep in mind, it's very important question. Better you do one more thing. So whenever you are going for interview, you go to Google, search for the standard tables of main tables of order management, purchasing, inventory, manufacturing. Remember some of the tables. Whenever interview question, being a functional, of course, nobody asks to build a query, but only thing you should know the main tables because you are going to prepare the MD50 document in which you are going to enter what table is getting affected. So whenever you are preparing the document, you should remember some of the tables because you are showing experience. By your experience, you might have done many documentations. So definitely you might have remembered some of the tables. If you can answer some of the tables, then only they will believe that you did some implementation and you really made the documentation. That was the reason what I'm telling you. You go to Google from Oracle, standard tables from order management, standard tables from purchasing modules, like that you query and what are the tables. Whenever you are saying the table, you should not say underscore 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 OE underscore interface all, like OE underscore headers all. So they used to say that, okay, whenever you are experienced, you should not repeat the underscore underscore underscore. OE underscore headers underscore all. This is wrong. The one we have started just now, they used to say that. But whenever you say, you just avoid that underscore. OE headers all. That's it. PO headers all. So similarly, AR interface tables, okay, we have, don't repeat underscores. That is one thing. Okay. Now, one more thing. After this, like org ID and organization ID, some of the tables you have to remember in case you are attending the interviews, then definitely you have to by heart the table names by this time. That's very important. Then, see, these are the system parameters. Allow parcel reservation. What is parcel reservation? Sales order might be for 100 quantities, but you can reserve 50 quantities from tools, schedule, reservation details. Audit trail. It will track how many versions after booking. After booking, enable when order is booked. Means what? After booking, what are the changes you are doing that will be tracked? Version 1, version 2, version 3. Then we have many options like this. Important things I already documented, and those things are very important. Let me go through important things. Okay, customer relationship, all customers is very important because if customers are having some relationship, then definitely between two customers there is a relation that should be. Default order type. Sometimes for whatever the order, you want certain order type to be defaulted for any customer. In case you are not assigning order type to the customer, so the moment you select the customer, order type will be defaulted. In case you are not assigning order type to the customer, still you want some order type to be defaulted, then you have to enter here. Freight item also you have to define in the item master as a freight item. Some code you have to give freight, simply freight. You have to give or freight. Some people use it to call freight or freight. Okay, don't be confused. What are the freight item you are entering that has to be entered in the master item and you have to assign to the respective organization. And whenever there is a transportation at the time of delivery, you are going to enter that freight charge. This is a very important question. In order management, how do you add freight charge to the item that has been shipped through sales order? I'm not having sales order line as a freight item, but how can you add the freight item? In the invoice, you can see there is a freight, there is a freight charge of so and so $100. How you are getting, even though that is not mentioned in the sales order lines. It is simple. Sales order has been booked. It is going to be pick release. When you are going to pick release in the line level, in the while doing the pick release for that particular line, and you're doing the transfer of the item from the main sub inventory to the staging sub inventory. After staging only, it is eligible for delivery. At the time of delivery making, whenever you create an auto create delivery, for that delivery, if you go to delivery details, there is a freight item you can enter, you can charge. Okay, this is very important question. When do you add the freight charge to the sales order in order to invoice, and you want to show that freight charge item in the invoice in a separate line? If that is the case, you are going to add that freight charge in delivery details. You are going to add, and after that you are going to ship it. When you are shipping, what are the sales order price into quantity? Sales order quantity, sales order line quantity multiplied by the price, unit selling price, that is, but the freight charge will be added. What is the item price? So that item price will be added to that. So that is revenue. If you want to recognize freight also as a revenue, that is also here only. You can see somewhere. I will show you. See, invoice freight as revenue. You want to recognize that freight charge, whatever you added, whenever invoice has been created. One line is showing sales order line quantity multiplied by the unit price. That is one line. Second line is freight charge. Quantity is 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever it may be. Usually you mention one quantity having total price like $200 or $200 or $1,000. You might have provided some transportation. So if you want to recognize the freight charge revenue, then definitely you have to select yes here. Invoice source, which has to be defaulted. Order entry, whenever you are running auto invoice manually, it is asking invoice source, right? Order entry, that will be there here. Invoice transaction type, which has to be defaulted. Item validation organization, you have to. It's very important. Margin calculation. What is margin? It is nothing but profit. Like you are selling some item with some price. What is the price list price? But cost, there is a cost also. What is the difference between cost and price? Price is having profit and cost is not having a profit. If you see item cost $100, the price will be $1,000. So margin is 1000 minus 100. 900 is the margin for one quantity. Okay, that is how the margin calculation is based on the price based. It's very important. Or shipment invoice basis, invoice ship quantity only, means sales order might be for 100 quantity, shipped 90, invoice should be for 90, not 200. That's what here you're mentioning. Like that, you have system parameters. Very somebody asks like what is retro billing reason? Retro billing, what is retro billing means? It is repeatedly you will be invoicing to the customer in regular intervals. In regular intervals you will be retro billing. Regularly you will be billing customer. That's what retro billing. So these are the system parameters, very important, and you have to remember some of the system parameters. Okay, now let's move on to, please mute from your side, all of you. Now we have next release sequence rules. We have release sequence rules we will be defining. So this is the form. If you open the navigation, release sequence, to which one like we are giving the priority, schedule date, outstanding invoice value, or departure date, or shipment priority, whatever it is. If you give ascending and descending means what? If somebody ranks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the one which is having 1, ascending means 1 is the first rank, second rank. If you say descending and you are giving 1, 2, 3, first is the lowest one, fifth is the highest rank. Descending, ascending is, that is the importance of that. Next, ship confirm rule. It is very important. I told you at the time of ship confirm, whenever you are doing the ship confirm on small form as open, we discussed a lot on that. What is shipped quantity, what is unspecified quantity, back order all, and different interface, and what is the documents, what are the documents to be printed, what are the legal documents to be printed at the time of shipping. Everything we have seen, right? We discussed in details also. The same thing, like ship confirm rule is nothing but this is the form where you could see that okay, ship confirm rule. This is a ship confirm rule. We are going to in the bottom of the same form you can see document set. So that means you want to select the document set means first of all you have to define a document set in which what are the reports to be run at the time of usage. What is the usage? Usage can be pick release, can be ship confirm. So we want some documents to be printed at the time of pick release. We want some documentations to be printed at the time of ship confirm. What documentation to be printed at the time of pick confirm? That is called pick confirm document set. But document set is same, navigation is same, you are defining at the same place, but usage is different. At the time of pick release means whenever you do the pick release, that is the reason pick slip is running. Because if you see the document set, pick release document set, but usage will be pick release. I will show you that is there in the setup document. So that is how, like, the same document set is behaving in different manners at the time of usage as pick release and ship confirm. At the time of picking, we are going to ship, we are going to print some documentation. At the time of shipping, we are going to prepare some documentation. What are the documentations required? What is the documentation required at the time of shipping? Commercial invoice, bill of lading. What else? Bill of lading, vehicle load sheet details, then any exceptions, and after that interface strip stop. Interface strip stop is not a documentation. It's not a part of a documentation, but it is the line. Differ interface. This differ interface will impact. No, it is going to impact the request, concurrent request, that is interface strip stop. If you select this, interface strip stop will not run automatically. If you disable this, then only interface differ interface means you are deferring interface. You are enabling means you are deferring. You are not enabling means you are not deferring. That's it. Close trip. I told you what is trip and what is stop, and you are going to have multiple stops in one trip, and you can have multiple deliveries in one trip. So that's how. Set delivery in transit means once the items are received by the customer calls back and confirms that I received the item. Then only you are going to close that line in the shipping transaction form. If you want to in transit means what? It is on the way. We have not yet received. In transit means on the way. If the vehicle started from Hyderabad and you are waiting for tomorrow only vehicle will be reached to Visakhapatnam. Then till you receive the item, customer receives the item, it will be in transit means what? Line will not be closed. If you could see the shipping transaction lines, the line status will not be closed. You have to manually close that. How? Once you get an information saying that from the customer saying that I received the item, then only you are closing that item. Pick release document set. This is what I was discussing. Document set at the time of picking, document set at the time of shipping. Let us see. See, here we have uses. If this list of values, if you open, it is pick release and ship confirm. What documentation to be printed at the time of picking? You have to select pick release. Then what are the reports to be printed? You have to select one by one. Whatever you select here, those many reports will be running the moment you pick release. Next, parallel means at a time all the reports will be running. Sequential means one by one. If one report completes, then next report. That report completes, then next report. How many reports you are going to select? 10, 20, 30, 40, like that. Once you complete this, next report will run. Once you complete this, next report will run. If it is sequential. Parallel means at a time all the reports will be running. The moment you see view request find out, you can see 5 requests are running at a time. How? Because it is parallel. Now, next we have price list setup. How to do the prices setup? We have pricing, price lists, prices setup. This is a part of advanced pricing. We have to open the price list. Then we have to give the header description. What is the currency? Base currency USD. Then multi-currency conversion you have to define first. And based on that, whatever the name you have given to multi-currency conversion, that you have to copy and paste here. Then you have to select what is the effective date from and to. Then you have to add all the items, item by item you have to add. In case you are selecting all items, then no issues. No need to enter item value, item code. Product value is item, then you have to enter the item code. All items means all items which are defined in the organization will be eligible and will be a part of this price list. That's it. Commonly you will be having only one price and you have to manually change that price. In case you are having item by item, that means by each item you are going to have the each price. Then modifiers. I told you modifier which enables you to modify the price of the sales order line. So modifier will be having what kind of modifier it is. So it's a kind of discount, it's kind of surcharge. Surcharge will increase the price, discount will decrease the price. Buy one get one free, buy two get one free, and buy the worth of items, buy 5,000 worth of items and get a 5,000 back, 5,000 cash back. So these offers, these offers can be derived by advanced pricing. How? This is how, like, if you have discount, percentage basis or value basis. Are you giving percentage basis or value basis? What is percentage basis? You buy 1,000 rupees, $1,000, then you will get discount of 25%. So if you buy $1,000, that means the customer should qualify the value. What is the maximum limit of value? 1,000. If somebody buys 900, should I give that cash back of 500? No. Or $100 should I give? No. You buy 999 rupees, I will not give. Only $1,000, then only I'll give. So that means we are getting qualified. Customer is getting qualified to get a discount. That's what we call it as qualifier. But modifier which enables you to modify the price in the sales order line. So modifier, what are the modifiers available? Can be discount, can be surcharge, can be promotion, can be deal. So we have promotions. What is buy one get one free, buy two get one free, buy two get 50% off on third item. So we have different options. All these things we can derive. It's very simple. In the sales order line, you are entering 10 items and each item price is $10. 10 multiplied by 10, $100. But you are giving discount of 50%. When you give 50%, what is the method you are going to follow? You are having discount where we can have percentage basis, like if you go to modifiers, like here we can see this is what we have line level, and it is line level. If you select header level, then you can apply from the sales order header. If you select line level, in each line you enter price, right? In the price list of values, see the list of values, then you can see the name of the modifier. This name, whatever the name you give, this name will be given, will be coming in the list of value. If you apply this, whatever the line level is there, that will be applicable. And listen carefully here in the next screen. Whatever you give discount on this particular line, this discount is, see, you have enabled only one. There is an end date, so it is not applicable. Only these two are applicable. One is discount, another one is surcharge. Discount, through which you are going to reduce the price. Surcharge, through which you are going to increase the price. Print on invoice, whatever you mentioned here. Print on invoice means what? Whatever discount you give, you want to show on the invoice? Yes. If yes, you have to select this. Means what? Auto invoice is getting run, right? So if you go to auto invoice, you can see the line of discount. How much? In negative sign, you can see that. Otherwise, if you disable this, it won't show. That is the main difference. Now, we discussed very, lengthy discussion we had long back about transaction types. What is transaction type in order management? It's nothing but order types. We defined order types, we define line types, assign line type to order type. Then we define document sequence. We have document categories getting created the moment you create an order type. Then for what category, we have two categories. One is quote, another one is order category. You are going to have two categories, provided you might have selected negotiation workflow in the order type. This is what I discussed already. We defined order type, we define line type separately. First we define line type, next order type, assign line type to the order type. Then we have the document sequence, what is the starting number. Then we have the categories getting created automatically the moment you validate the workflow of the particular order type you define. Then what are the categories? Order type category and code category. For code category, what is the document sequence to be followed? You have to assign to that. Similarly, what for order, what is the document sequence to be followed? That number should be, that sequence should be assigned to this. Next, that's what here. You can see that. Go through. We define first order types, what is the name and everything. What is the order type? And we have to give description, negotiation workflow, fulfillment flow. It is line type, so that is the reason it is not asking any workflow. For order type, it has to be. If it is line type, it won't ask. But if it is order type, then definitely. So remaining things, I mean, main tab, you have to select what is the price list to be followed. If any credit check rule is there, at what level it has to be applied, at order type, order booking, at picking, at packing, at shipping. So that's what. And you have to define a rule, and that rule should be linked here, so that whenever order reaches to picking level or shipping level or packing level or booking level, then that rule will be applied. And force price list price, this is a very important question. If somebody asks you saying that I want to use the advanced pricing and the price should not be changed, what is the how do you restrict the customer? How do you restrict the user not to change the price? Then you have to select this and force price list. That's it. Okay. Now, similarly, we have next tab. We have all these tabs like shipping tab. What is the warehouse? What is the shipping source type? What is internal? What is external? Internal means we are going to maintain the stock and you are picking the item from your inventory and you are shipping to the customer. Whereas source type is external means what? You are not maintaining the stock. Whenever there is an order comes from the customer, we are going to call the your supplier and you are asking your supplier to ship the item to the customer ship to location. This is what we call it as drop shipment. So it's very important, which has to be defaulted. So drop shipment order, you can have drop shipment order name and you can select external, so that whenever you use that order type, the external will be defaulted. Then in the finance tab, you have to select invoice source, cost of goods sold, all these accounts. And what is the receivable transaction type? It's very important. In what receivable transaction type, these sales to be tracked. That's what, whenever you go for different transaction type, then it's very easy to sort by. Whenever in the month end, if you want to say what are the sales, what is the revenue that has been generated by selling the home appliances, what is the revenue that has been generated by selling the food products. If the same company is having different products, let us say home appliances, food products, or healthcare products or medicines, we have what is the revenue generated from medicines. You can have transaction type as medical medical internal, you can say medical items. Okay, medicine items, medicine, you can say. Then you go for oil field. This is for oil field. This is for transportation. Somebody may have transaction types as transportation transaction type, oil field transaction type, or cargo transaction types, or airfare, airways. Transportation by flight will be called as airways. So is it generated, the revenue generated by trains or revenue generated by flight charges? You are a courier, let us say first flight courier services you might be knowing. So, or FedEx, you have road transportation. FedEx is a courier service. If you use road transportation, and sometimes they may use airways, sometimes they use trains. So whatever it may be, what is the revenue generated from trains you want, then definitely you should have a receivable transaction type separately for trains, for flights, for road transportation, like that oil field, like that food, like that medicine. You can have, so that what at the end of the day, what are sales happen during this month based on the medicine sales or home appliances sales, like that you can categorize. So order types, these are all we have seen that order type you have to define, like line type you define, and after that order type, this is C. Order type, when it is order type, fulfillment flow you have to generate, you have to select that. Negotiation flow, it's up to you. If you select this, automatically the quotation category will be created. So this is what similar to line type. You have to define shipping tab details and finance tab details and main tab details. Next, it will go to, these are all different line types, different order types have been created. You know that, right? What is the, this is what we are assigning. This is the category line type, and this is the flow. Like in the order types, we are assigning the workflow to the line type. What is the line type and what is the workflow to be followed? You know that in the order types we have assign line flows. If you go to line flows, then you have to select the what is the line type you are going to link to the order type, then what is the workflow to be followed for this line type. Then order management documents define document sequences. That's what I told you. Whenever you create sales order, we use by using some order type one number to be generated. If you use another order type, another number to be generated. So another sequential number to be generated. That is how documents assign. We have shipping parameters, which is very important. Shipping parameters, in which we have multiple tabs, general tab. We have many tabs like pick release, shipping transactions. Sometimes some questions, some questions will be like this. What are the tabs you can see in the shipping parameters? So how thorough, how thorough you're with subject. Like you have to take care of all these tabs. You have to remember, so how much practice you might have done, all those things will be assessed based on, if you can see that, if somebody says what is the first tab, what is the second tab, how many tabs are available in the shipping parameters, all these things, that shows your experience level or your practice level. So these are the general things, and you have to select. And what are the pick slip grouping rule you define in the inventory? Pick slip grouping rule you are going to define in the inventory. Pick slip at the end, what is it? At the end means what? Means after staging only the pick slip will be printed. Means the output will be generated, otherwise it will not be generated. Default pick release document set. What are the documents to be run? What are the reports to be run at the time of picking? We have already created that. So that name you have to link here. Then auto create deliveries. So after pick releasing, delivery number is getting created. Sometimes it is getting created, sometimes it's not creating. Why? Auto create deliveries, it will create the deliveries automatically. In case you unchecked, then you have to do manually by going to actions, auto create deliveries. Then you have to do generation of the delivery number. We have shipping transaction tab, in which what is the ship confirm rule. You are linking here. What is the ship confirm rule? You link here. That is the reason you are, the moment you click on ship confirm button in the shipping transaction form, you are getting some small form where you can see this confirm rule is getting defaulted. Okay. Auto pack, whenever you are having warehouse management, the items to be packed and loaded into the container. So all these things, whenever you have containers and you have trip stops, we have trip and we have multiple stops, we have trips and multiple deliveries, and each delivery, what are the packing items, and packing slip report is showing what is the pack and what are the items available in that pack. All these things, like sometimes if you are tracking transportation management, then you have to track by goods dispatched account also will be used. It's mandatory, it's not mandatory. So definitely, if you are using transportation management perfectly, then definitely you would require this. And what else? Delivery tab. In the delivery tab, what else? Like you are grouping by ship to location, customer, freight terms, FOB, fee on board, ship to location, intermediate ship to location, ship methods. All the in the delivery tab, what are the things to be? Like auto create delivery criteria. Is it the delivery number should be across the order should be unique, or within the order should be unique? So can I have duplicate numbers? So like that, appending, do not append means you increase the number. Transportation management, the transportation management, if you have transportation management, you have to enter all these details. It's not required. Transportation management is a separate module. Okay. Now what else? Roles, this is very important. Roles and definition, roles and grants. Say, have you observed in the shipping transaction form, you are going to actions and you are going to see the list of values. If you want to see, I will show you here. Shipping transaction form, you have okay, let us take this sales order. If I select this sales order, then fine. When you have sales order, in the actions you can see the how many list of values. These are all list of values, right? All these are actions. If you want to perform one of them, then the grant should be given to respective user. My user name is MMARADA. Let us see what is the grant has been given. That is the reason I can see. If the grants are not given, then definitely you can see nothing in the list of values. So how to do that? In the shipping, in the setups, we have roles and grants. If you scroll down, you can see grants and roles. I told you grant should be given to the respective user. So my username is this, caps. For this, what role has been given? This is the role. So we have to define the role first, then assign to the one. What is the role have been defined? Let us see what is the role, in what manner it has been defined. Let us see. Control V, Control F11. See, in the we have in the shipping transaction lines tab, delivery tab, stops tab, trips tab, general message. So if you go to lines, what are the things to be enabled? You have to select checkbox. If you select this, then it will be visible. If you uncheck this, then it cannot be seen. Cycle count. You can initiate the cycle count from shipping transaction form also. If you select this, it will be visible. If you select this and for respect to that particular line, cycle counting for that particular item will be initiated. Similarly, in the delivery tab, what else to be visible? What else? Not all. So only whatever you enable here that should be shown. That is the reason in the shipping transaction form you have delivery tab. If you go to delivery tab in the list of values of actions, whatever is visible, that means that is checked here. Whatever is not visible here, when whatever is unchecked here, that is not visible there. That's it. It's as simple as that. And similarly in the stops tab, trips tab, general tab, message tab, all these things, whatever you enable, whatever you disable, that will not appear. Whatever you enable, that will appear. That's it. That's it. And apart from that, you want important things like, I already told you ISOs, internal sales order, drop shipments, and back-to-back order. What is the difference between drop shipment and back-to-back order? It is a very important question. Drop shipment means the source is external. Customer asks us for some item, but we are not maintaining the stock. We will approach our supplier and we will ask the supplier to ship the item directly to the customer ship to location that has been entered in the sales order. Whereas back-to-back order, customer asks for the item, but we are not maintaining the stock. We ask immediately whenever there is an order, we ask our supplier, but supplier will not ship the item directly to the customer. Instead, supplier sends the item to our location. From our location, we are going to ship it. It's a normal sales order. Back to back. It's back to back, we call it as. So what is the difference? The source is internal and source is external. Source is external. Supplier is shipping the item to the customer. That is the reason when source is external type, that is called drop shipment. When source is internal, that is back to back. But you are buying from the supplier. You are not maintaining the stock in both the cases. Normal sales order, yes, you are maintaining the stock, and as and when order, there is no purchase order at all. Simply you are going to the inventory and picking the item, reserving the item, staging the item, delivery, and ship the item, invoice the item. That's it. ISO, IR internal requisition, ISO internal sales order. IR means internal requisition. I told you, I given the example from Hyderabad and Gujarat for Tata Motor. You are getting Tata Nano item from Gujarat to Hyderabad through internal sales order. How? First requisition item is required at Hyderabad. So Hyderabad people, Hyderabad organization people, Tata Motor Hyderabad group will raise an internal requisition saying that I would require Tata Nano item so and so quantity. From where? The source should be Gujarat. So Gujarat against Tata Motor branch. So I want the internal requisition will be raised saying that I would require Tata Nano cars of 100 cars should be shipped to Hyderabad from where? Gujarat. So I am raising internal requisition. That internal requisition, after approving, we create internal orders. That is nothing but sales order. Who is shipping? Gujarat. So sales order should be created in Gujarat. So we create internal orders from Hyderabad. So that order will be visible in Gujarat. So the moment you complete the create internal orders, that will create the data in the interface tables of Gujarat of order management. Then Gujarat opens the order management and it will import the orders that have been created from Hyderabad. That is the reason Gujarat people from the responsibility order management responsibility they will run the request, that is order import orders. Then when they import, orders will be visible. You can query the sales order number, you can find order organizer, source is internal, you can select, then you find it, you get it, what are the orders created, ship it from Gujarat to Hyderabad. Over. IR/ISO is simple. But what are the case? It's very important. What are the accounting entries? I have given the gist of accounting entries for every transaction. For sales order, you are picking. Item is getting transferred from one inventory to one sub inventory to another sub inventory. It is simply sub inventory transfer. There is no entry because you are decreasing and increasing in the same inventory organization. So there is no net effectivity. But at the time of ship confirm, item quantity is getting depleted. Inventory value has been decreased. At the same time, cost of goods sold, the same value. But when you invoice, revenue is getting generated. What is revenue? Item price that is you entered in the sales order line multiplied by the quantity, that much is the revenue generated. That much you have to receive from the customer, but you have not received. So that is due. That is indicated in the negative. When the customer pays, that means you are making a receipt and you are giving the receipt to the customer when you receive the cash from the customer or check from the customer. The moment you do the receipt, the entry will be reversed. Means what? There is a due from the customer. When you make a receipt, that means customer paid, that will be debited. Means that is nullified. Then revenue already recognized. Then clearance will hit. Customer clearance. So this is how we have important concepts here. And one more thing, what are the documentation? What is the documentation that you would require for drop shipment and for back-to-back order for IR/ISO? Are you going to invoice for internal customers? No, we are not. But what you are doing? You are doing internal transfer. Where it is? I will show you here. It's very important for doing any inter-org transfers or internal sales orders. What is the setup that you would require? That item should be internal ordered enabled in the order management tab of the organization item. Go to order management tab. There is internal ordered enabled, customer ordered enabled, returnable item. All those checkboxes should be enabled. Otherwise, you cannot use that item in the order management for the purpose of return, for internal sales order, for IR/ISO, whatever it may be. I'm going for inventory now. For IR/ISO, for drop shipment, whatever it may be, for internal sales order, you should have shipping networks. What is shipping network? Go to setup, organizations, shipping network. This is the navigation. Simply add to the favorites. I have added already. Now open that. For which organization? If I am going to see for M1 Discrete Manufacturing, let us say I have selected something. Okay, for this organization, fine. Okay, you can see from org to org and what are the respective accounts and transfer type in transit direct. What is transfer type in transit? Means what? It is on the way. Whenever you transfer from Bristol to Worcester, means it is nothing but, so this is the code organization. Let us say M1 to M2, it is M1 or M2. Then in transit means what? Whenever they ship the item from M1 from Gujarat, let us say this is Gujarat, this is Hyderabad, from Gujarat to Hyderabad, then what happens? In transit means what? These people, like Hyderabad people, have to make a receipt When you make a receipt, that is called in transit. When you are not making a receipt, that is called direct. Fee and board. Shipment. The moment you receive the shipment. Who will receive? M2, M1, M2. Gujarat, Hyderabad. Hyderabad will receive. Receipt routing standard means what? It's not four-way, it's three-way. What is standard? Three-way. What is direct? Two-way. What is four-way? Inspection required. Standard means what? Receipt is required. That's what. Receipt routing is standard. Means they shipped how much quantity. You received how much quantity. Is that matched? Then invoice. What is that quantity? There is a quantity. Standard direct inspection required. It's very important. Standard direct inspection required. What is this? Inspection required four-way. Pure quantity you are going to buy. Let us say you are going to buy. It means purchase order has been created. Supplier sends. You have to receive. You have to make a receipt. You made the purchase order for 100. You received only 50. Okay. You received 50, but out of 50, 25 are damaged. That means you have received only accepted only 25. Then your invoice quantity should be for accepted quantity. Means what? PO quantity is 100. Receipt quantity is 50. Accepted quantity is 25. Invoice quantity should match with the receipt accepted quantity. This is what four-way. Four quantities are there. Three-way standard. PO quantity is 100. Receipt quantity is 50. Pay, that means invoice quantity should be 50. Three quantities. So it is three-way. Direct. PO quantity is 100. Pay 200. Means PO quantity and invoice quantity. Two quantities, two-way. That's it. When you select this, so there is an error because somebody has disabled this account. So that is the reason you are getting this account, this error message. Okay, but otherwise you won't get it. It's waste of time. How many times should I get it? Okay. My God. Okay. See, whenever you go for this, there are, whenever you intercompany, this is intercompany like from and to. This is from Gujarat to Hyderabad, Gujarat to Bangalore, Gujarat to Coimbatore, like that you will be having organizations. Then in transit you have to select, the checkbox here. Internal order is required. When you select this, that means without raising ISO, you cannot transfer the item from Gujarat to Hyderabad. That's it. Transfer and distance. You have, whenever you are transferring, you want to charge, you want to charge something, transportation charge, then you can select predefined 10% of the cost or price. Then primary accounts. So whenever you are going for internal sales, you are not going to raise the invoice. Simply you will transfer the values from accounts to account. That's it. From Gujarat, from Hyderabad, once you receive the item at Hyderabad will transfer the account values to Gujarat accounts. That's it. This is a transfer credit, purchase price variance, and we have different accounts. Interog receivables. This is what interog payables. These are the accounts you are going to maintain. All these things you have to. In transit inventory means it is on the way. Then that value should be there in this account. So like all these things will be there. This is all shipping network. Very important question. And apart from that, we have sourcing rules. Whenever you go for, especially it's very important in purchasing. In purchasing, you have sourcing rules. What is sourcing rule? How you are going to procure this item, which supplier should supply this item. We have multiple suppliers to supply the same item. Then what is the ranking you are going to give? That is called sourcing rule. We have then assignment sets you are going to have. That's what is auto sourcing. Like auto sourcing, if you listen, if you say somebody asks for auto sourcing, have you worked on auto sourcing? Then you should have worked in sourcing rules, assignment sets, bill of distributions. What is that? Let me show you. And the purchasing. Now, We have supply base where we should have approved suppliers. You can have sourcing rules from approved suppliers. Approved supplier, to use approved suppliers, if you want to bring this control, then in the item master in the purchasing tab, use approved supplier, there is a checkbox. You have to select that. That is the first option if you want to have auto sourcing. Then after that, what are the suppliers to be in the list of approved suppliers? You have to select that. Approved list shows and what item, and for that item, if you select something and some organization, what is the item? For that item, who are the supplier? You have to select what is the item, what is the supplier. That's it. You have to select. Then you have to add all the items for what are the item, and you want to use that for that item. You want to use the approved suppliers, and who is the approved supplier for that particular item. You have to select one by one. Then sourcing rules we have here. If you have sourcing rules, let us see. Select. There is a name. Okay. Transfer from one organization Gujarat to Hyderabad. So always the first rank should be given for internal company. Whenever you want certain Tata Nano car, the first preference should be given to Gujarat only. Of course, our manufacturing plant is also only Gujarat, so definitely you have no option. You have to get it from Gujarat only. Whenever you go for, like, you have to give the name from which date it has to be transferred from which org from Gujarat to 100%. Whenever they want Tata Nano, it should be 100% should be from Gujarat only. That's it. First rank you should give. And shipping method, what should be defaulted, and after that, and for this assignment set should be there. Assignment set will discuss about, see item organization. Okay, this is the organization, like it can be Coimbatore, it can be Bangalore organization, Hyderabad organization, Visakhapatnam organization, like that. You can have what is the item by category or item. Okay, now you can have all this. This is what category set. Sourcing rule. What is the sourcing rule? Whatever you defined earlier, and which rule to be followed for this item transfer, that has to be linked. This is what sourcing rule assignment set. If you have this, then bill of distribution is nothing but the same thing. Against that, what is that? What is the organization is going to send this item? What is the organization is going to? What is the organization is first preferred one to supply this item? That's what it is. Bill of distribution. This sourcing rule and assignment set is mandatory, and having the approved suppliers for auto sourcing. Auto sourcing, whenever you go for auto sourcing, then you should use what kind of purchasing? It can be contract, it can be blanket, not standard. When you have blanket, means what? There is an agreement. When there is a blanket, if you start creating manually a purchase order, system gives saying that pop-up. Boss, there is a purchase order which has been opened in blanket format. Blanket purchase order has been opened for the same item, but still you are entering in the another sales or another purchase order as a standard purchase order. So you have to make use of that blanket purchase order. I have a release. That release will create a standard purchase order and release that, approve it and send to the supplier. Supplier sends the item, you receive it and make a payment. So this is how, like, always auto sourcing. This is what very important. And after that, I'm going to have the hierarchy class for you. I'm going to show you. You have any questions? That's all. Okay, I will rejoin. Just be online.